Good morning, everybody. Biker Dave here, bright and early on a Friday morning. We're down near the Atlanta airport, just south of downtown Atlanta. It's a gorgeous, sparkling, crisp, clear morning. And look at the activity going on. Automotive freight train going by that hauls cars. The airport is straight ahead where you see the moon setting over there. Look behind us too, we got a nice sunrise coming up. Here's where the planes are coming in this morning, heading into Hartsfield, Atlanta Airport. Lots of activity going on. Right? And if you've seen my videos lately, you notice we just got a pretty killer 2008 Hummer H3 Alpha. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this car as we're driving back to Marietta, Georgia. This thing is really good. You saw we put the MagnaFlow exhaust system on it back here. One owner car this is. Got it all the way from Dallas, Texas. And also the DiabloSport Trinity performance tuner, as well as this is an analysis device as well. You know, these things are good for tuning and improving performance, and sometimes even miles per gallon, and improving transmission shifting points and things like that, or just knowing, you know, the dirty details of what's going on inside your engine and transmission. But even more than that, this thing is great for finding out trouble codes. You know, if your check engine light comes on, and you know, if you want to know immediately what that is, instead of having to go to you know, an auto parts store, or you know, if it doesn't really show the code for you like some cars don't, this thing will show you the trouble code. You can even reset it right there on the fly. You know, if you've already done a repair or whatever and you just want to reset it and see if that solved your problem, this little device can do that for you. Really, really awesome. This thing, you know, the whole screen you see here can be customized. You know, every aspect of it, all these little categories all around it there can be changed to whatever you want. You know, it's got just tons of different options of how to tweak things, different types of menu you can use. Look at this though. Look at all the stuff that this thing is analyzing and giving you a readout of. I don't even know what some of it means, but most of it I do. Really sweet. I'll do another video on, you know, we just changed out to a new throttle body because the one that was on it was original, and you know, it was quite crusty, and instead of cleaning it and all that, we went ahead and got a new one because they aren't that expensive. But installing a new throttle body is not always just a plug and play kind of thing. You know, you should reset the computer of the vehicle, and sometimes you should also install a new mass airflow sensor and a couple other things, and we'll do another video on that. Anyway, really liking this thing so far. It's got the little 5.3 V8, as you can hear. I really like that. It runs really good. 160,000 miles, if you can believe it, and it looks almost new. Like I said, this was a one-owner truck from Dallas, Texas. And these things, you know, I like the way they're, you know, with today's modern cars, especially the newer stuff, how they got all these gadgets and things, and steering wheel gadgets and buttons everywhere and all that. This thing doesn't have that. You know, it's just got a good solid radio, 6-disc CD changer. I still use CDs, so I find that awesome. You know, it's got XM radio, Sounds good. Got a little stock subwoofer back in the cargo area, which is slick. I may do the speakers though. The speakers sound okay, but I think the speakers could sound better. So I may swap those out. I just like it. You know, it runs good. It's real solid, but it has a nice ride. It's got your full-time four-wheel drive, four-wheel high, four-wheel low, locking differential. It's good. You know, it's just really good. If you like a good sturdy vehicle that looks like a little tank, this thing looks like a bulldog, you know, from the outside. I really like it. Anyway, really cool. And we'll do a little drive-by back through downtown Atlanta and see how the town looks as we're heading back through. It is 7:15 in the morning Eastern Time in Atlanta, Georgia. Alrighty. And quite often, you know, if we're out and about, actually anytime in the shop or wherever, we usually listen to sports talk radio in Atlanta because music radio is good and all, but, you know, it just gets old after a while. So we usually listen to sports talk radio like 92.9 The Game, you know, which is, it's probably the better of the sports talk stations. So I usually listen to that one in the morning, or sometimes 680 The Fan is a good, good station. I don't really listen to news talk anymore because it was just, last year was just awful for news talk stuff. You know, it's like, oh my goodness, I couldn't stomach it anymore. And the news stories were like the same all the time. You know, you got your COVID story, you got your president story, you got your some kind of scandal story, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. So now we do, I mean, we kind of, I change it up every now and then. You know, sometimes I'll listen to some music on the radio, but yeah, I'm still a radio kind of guy. And we use, as far as our cell phone, you know, we use a Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. And really good cell phone, man. I love the features of this thing. The camera is great, the video is great. We also mount the device in a Panavice Porta-Grip. I'll put a link to that. That thing is awesome because it's a suction cup style mount that affixes to your glass or your windshield or wherever you want to put it. But if you like to shoot video inside a car, like this style, and something else that the Galaxy Note can do, it can change view while shooting live. So you don't have to pause to change from selfie view to forward view. All you do is button on the screen and it's back forward again. I think that is completely awesome because I've never had that feature before, but it is very handy. Anyway, about this Hummer H3. As far as any negatives I've noticed so far, and I've only had it, for a week basically. Only put, just a couple hundred miles on it or whatnot. As far as any negatives, these are very nitpicky. But here's some negatives. The front turn signal side markers. You cannot access them without removing the fender wells underneath the front fenders. Totally ridiculous. So you can't just unscrew them from the outside or pop them out and swap out the bulbs. So that's kind of ridiculous. There is no map light like straight above the dash area. Right above the dash, right above where this camera is mounted. There's no lighting at all. There's no map light to be able to see right in front of you. I think they should have put something there. You know, like right where the sunroof button is, which is just above the rear view mirror. There's no lighting right there. It needs it. Also, the air conditioning blower is too loud. Even when it's on level 1, it's like, goodness, that thing's about to blow out of this thing. It's like, you know, it's just too loud. I've had just tons of cars in my day. Let's see, I will be, goodness, how old will I be? 54 I will be this year. Oh my goodness. So I've had a ton of cars. And yeah, the air conditioning fan is really loud. It's like, what the heck? It just makes it sound cheap. I don't know. I mean, it's nitpicky. All these are very nitpicky little things. Overall engine performance of this 5.3, I like it. I like it even more now that I installed the DiabloSport Trinity. I installed the Diablo tune, and as well, because that's a 93 octane tune, and I noticed a significant improvements in just overall drivability, transmission shifting, you know, because the transmission would shift too early, in my opinion, in stock form. So it's really resolved that. When you step on it, it goes now. I mean, and I don't think it's you know, this is not a placebo effect, because I'm very picky about engine performance and transmission performance. You know, I'm just a picky kind of guy when it comes to vehicles and how they drive and operate. When you step on this thing, it freaking goes. I mean, it downshifts quicker, you know, to get into passing gear, so to speak, and it rips now. So really happy about that. So yeah, if you're considering a performance tuner that you just plug into your OBD port, and I mean, there's tons of different models out there, but the DiabloSport Trinity Platinum, now this is the nice one. You can find them at a cheaper than retail price if you search around some. I'll put a link down for where you can find them. That thing does the trick. I mean, I had never tried one. I'd only heard about them and read about them online and all that. But yeah, man, that thing works. Coming up on downtown. Let's see if we can zoom in here. Downtown Atlanta on a Friday morning. Little sunrise coming up on the skyscrapers up there. Let's see if we can get a nice side view. Let me turn this camera real quick. All right, we're gonna turn this lens a little bit to the left so we'll actually see downtown a little bit better as we go by. And if you follow my channel, you know that I'm an Atlanta native, born and raised in Atlanta. I was actually born in the city of Atlanta, you know, down here in town, you know, born near Grant Park, where the zoo is. Moreland Avenue area is where I was born. So, needless to say, I'm very familiar with all of Atlanta. Never lived in any other major city. You know, I've lived in suburbs of Atlanta, but never moved out of town, because I like it, you know. Let's see if we can see town. There's Grady Hospital right there. The major trauma center of Atlanta. If you get in a serious accident, you know, you're probably going to go to... Back it up a little bit. There we go. Not quite as good a view, but it's part of downtown Peachtree Street, where all the major hotels and corporate offices and whatnot, you know. Pretty cool. about this Panavice Portagrip is, you know, you can rotate the thing that you have mounted on it in all kinds of different ways. It's got an arm, you can extend it way out, you know, if you need to reach further to get a better view or something. Highly recommend it. It's easy to adjust on the fly. And with the phone, it's easy to zoom in and out just at the push of a button. Which like I just did, like you come all the way back from the wide range all the way out to normal to too close, you know, just like that at a push of a button. You don't actually have to drag it in or anything. There's Georgia Tech. It was used for dormitories for the 1996 Olympics. It was used for the athletes' dorms. The Varsity on our right there, if you've never eaten at the Varsity, go get it. It's good stuff. I don't care what anyone says. I may be biased because I'm from here. Midtown over here. Tons of construction has been going on around the Midtown area. You know, this is around the Georgia Tech campus. I mean, just tons of. When I lived down here years ago, you know, as far as in Midtown, there was not this many places to live, you know, as far as high rises and whatnot. You know, there was none of that. Now it's just everywhere. You know, if you can't find a place to live, now it may not be cheap, but if you can't find a place to live in downtown, midtown, Buckhead area, you're not looking, because they are everywhere. We've got a pretty sunrise coming up, and over here, Atlantic Station Bridge right there. It's gonna be a night. Oh look, there's the moon. Yep, there's the moon on the far left. We just passed it. We have, weather changes frequently in the winter here in Atlanta. You know, just a few days ago it was almost 70 degrees and just gorgeously perfect, you know, in late January, and then a couple days later it's 48 degrees and rather chilly. And look at that sunrise. That's really nice right there. Very nice. Pretty sunrise on a Friday. Let's see, Buckhead. Can't really see it. Buckhead is to the far left over there. I can't really see it because of the center wall here. So we're going to take a different route back today. There you go. That's a nice shot. Some new things we got going on at Horsepower House. You know, if you've been watching the channel lately, you know, Supercross is underway. We try to post some videos about it, but a lot of that stuff gets immediately blocked, which is just so unfortunate. So it's kind of difficult to post, any race footage or even highlight footage and things. Feld Motorsports, the promoter of Supercross, does not play around as far as using their stuff. So whatever. We try to find other things, and we've been really swamped in the past 2 to 3 weeks or so just haven't had any time to mess with it, but we're going to do radio versions of Supercross races, basically audio versions of it, and so we got the files waiting to be edited, but some of this stuff takes time, time consuming. And thankfully, online sales is still booming. Thanks to COVID. Sometimes that's not a good thing to say, but because of the COVID issue, online sales is through the roof for pretty much everyone who sells anything online. And we've had our stores since 2003, and it's always been good, solid, But man, as soon as COVID hit last year, wow, sales just went totally bonkers. So thankful for that, I guess you could say, but it really, that makes the day very busy, very hectic, because we try to get our shipments out quickly. We're not trying to hold on to stuff and wait till the next day or even the next week or whatever to get a shipment out. We try to get this stuff out in a hurry because we know you guys want the stuff and need the stuff quick. And U.S. mail is still kind of slow. They are overwhelmed. The U.S. Postal Service is overwhelmed because of the pandemic and because there's so many people shipping stuff now. It's just overwhelming for the mail system. So if you guys order anything online from anybody, you might want to expect it to take longer than before. That's just how things are right now. No one can do anything about it. It's just the way it is. So, you kind of have to be patient these days whenever you order anything, aside from maybe from Amazon directly. Like if it's something that Amazon is shipping to you themselves, Amazon fulfilled, then those things, of course, are quick and all. But as far as if they're having to use the Postal Service or even UPS, FedEx, those companies are slammed with packages to move. And even stuff that we order for ourselves, we order things all the time for our own shop use and personal use, and the stuff takes longer than it used to. So, what can you do? A little frustrating. Frustrating also as a seller, when you ship something overseas, international, and it's taking forever for the package to arrive to the customer, and they can complain to Amazon and get their money back, even though the package is still in transit. It even shows it's still in transit. We had one that went all the way to Canada. Package showed in transit. Package showed to be attempted to be delivered and is now waiting for the customer at their post office. The customer still complained because, it did take a long time to arrive. Amazon gave them their money back, even though the shipment is still sitting there at their post office. So that means now they can probably get their item for free and not have to even pay us back for it, and there's nothing we can do about it. We filed an appeal and everything showing, hey man, the package is there at their post office. Amazon Incorporated still gave the customer their money back. So that is frustrating, and that's also why prices have to go up for online sellers, because we are at a great risk sometimes, especially if we ship international, because quite often, look at these, what's going on up here? Accidents, cars hitting stuff. Whoa. Car hits a tree. Jesus. Not a good Friday morning for those people. Anyway, yeah, very frustrating. And if you're a seller, online seller, or you have a store online and you ship overseas, you know the risk involved. And man, it can be Yeah, it can be frustrating because if it's an expensive item, $100, $200 plus, $40, $50, $60 shipping, and then the website gives that customer the money back, you are basically screwed and out that amount of money. Unless hopefully, the shipment service returns the item to you, which usually will take a good 2 months, if that. Sometimes it never comes back, and you're just screwed. Whatever. What are you supposed to do? Nothing you can do. So that's those are the people think that online selling is great and fun and lovely and all that. Yeah, you get to work from a central location and not have to drive to work and all that if you don't want to, but there are lots of financial risks involved, and it can be difficult sometimes. All right, we're up now the northeast side of town, approaching what's called Spaghetti Junction. This is one of the first major interstate intersections in Atlanta, as far as it becoming what you're about to see, because it's quite a maze of ramps and turns and stuff, and from up above, like if you saw it in an aerial view, it kind of looks like a bowl of spaghetti. So they call it Spaghetti Junction. I-85 and I-285, which is 285 is the Periemeter highway that goes all the way around the city of Atlanta. I-85 continues northeast all the way to South Carolina. So we don't usually take this route back, but we're going to do it today. There's all kinds of overpasses and bridges and stuff all over. Can't really tell in this view here, but let me back it up a skosh. There's just lots of bridges and things, and this is a nightmare, in the evening if you have to come through here after work. Oh, I mean, all of traffic is much better than it used to be in the Atlanta area, I'm happy to say, thanks to COVID. Thanks to COVID, traffic basically doesn't exist as much anymore in Atlanta unless there's a major accident, which nothing you can do about that. But as far as volume of traffic, it almost does not exist, because we are now looking at 7:40 a.m. and look here, this is a major Periemeter highway. Yeah, it's got a little bit of volume, but not much at all. This would usually be going 30 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour, or worse. You just crawling along is how this would normally be. And we're going, 55, 60 right now, which is fine by me, but I don't have to drive to work like this every day, so whatever. Doesn't really affect me. Coming up on Peachtree Industrial Boulevard, which is the same road, Peachtree Street, if you're in downtown Atlanta. This is where it continues on and becomes Peachtree Industrial Boulevard, after becoming Peachtree Road. Those are all the same road. It goes all the way to Beaufort, Georgia, around Lake Lanier. What else we got? Over here on the left, can we see any of this? Probably not. There's a Carvana. Actually, that's an Infinity. Yeah, see that thing we just passed there? Yeah, that's an infinity display of cars. Looks like the Carvana ones, the vending machine for cars. That's what it kind of looks like. But it's mainly just the advertising, marketing display. We're in the Chamblee, Dunwoody area, the northeast side of Atlanta. I don't know how well you can see that, but see the DiabloSport Trinity. This device that's plugged into the OBD port, where you would get your emissions testing done, or where a mechanic would plug in a scanner. It's usually under the dash on the left side of most cars. that's where this little guy is plugged in as well. And it gives you a readout of all kinds of stuff. And you can adjust this gauge cluster. It's a touch screen and everything. You know, this is all touch screen. If it'll do something, you can do all kinds of different menus and things. You can even do a performance test if you want to do 0 to 60 miles per hour, 0 to 100, quarter mile, eighth mile. It can do all that on the fly for you, like if you're testing out different tunes and things that you've installed. Really cool. So yeah, you may want to try one of those if you're into performance and stuff like that. The DiabloSport Trinity. Pretty cool. Alright, now coming up on the Ashford Dunwoody area, which is where Periemeter Mall is. Periemeter Mall is one of the older large shopping malls around Atlanta, and it's still going, where, you know, a lot of shopping centers have gone under in the past 10 or 15 years. At least they have around Atlanta as far as major shopping. You know, some malls are just awful now, where they used to be the place to be years ago. Okay, now we got a little bit of traffic. Now this is we're approaching Georgia 400, and a lot of these people coming through here, you know, they're changing lanes, they don't know where to go, and so they cause problems. Ooh, watch the sun gleaming off of that building up there. That'll blind somebody. That's probably another reason why traffic is slowed, because of that sun. You just look at that. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. The blasting sun off of that building. Oh, oof. Need to pull my visor down for that. But not so bad. See, that's the reason this traffic is people are changing lanes. And there's a little bit of construction going on up here, but still not bad at all considering. Yeah, there's the ramp going to Georgia 400 North. Up here on the left here, you see Northside Hospital. See where that flag is in the distance over there? Northside Hospital, that's where my lovely wife works. In anesthesia. She's the one who drugs you when you go into surgery and coming out of surgery. She's the one who keeps you alive, basically. And she just got her COVID shot not long ago, and she said her arm was sore for a week solid, which was okay, not so great, right? And she used to work for Pfizer also. How about that? Pfizer is who put out the first COVID vaccines. She's brilliant, but, you know, she's into science and chemistry and all that. That's what she studied in college. Master's degree in chemistry, for crying out loud. And her first real job was working for a Pfizer corporation. How about that? So that's pretty cool. And then she became a housewife, you know, in her first marriage, and a mom and all that, and actually quit her career to be a mom. So that's very respectable, you know. But then she and her first husband got divorced a few years back, and she had to get back into the workplace. So she went back to college, got her master's in chemistry and in anesthesia, and by golly, got hired with Northside before even graduating, getting her master's. How about that? Yeah, so if you're looking for a career and you're into science and chemistry and math, you should get into anesthesia. You will never have a problem finding a job in a major city if you have that on your resume, you know, as far as being a degreed anesthetist. She went to Nova, which is down near Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You know, that's the name of the school, to get the master's degree. And yeah, man, as soon as you walk out the door with your degree, you can have pretty much any job you want in that field. That's how in demand that field is in anesthesia. So yeah, for sure, any of you younger people watching this, if you're trying to decide what kind of career you want and you already maybe have your undergrad, but you're still unsure, especially if it's something in the chemistry, science field, go to Nova down in Fort Lauderdale. I think they have a few other locations as well, but that's where she went. If you can get in there, it's not the easiest to get accepted to Nova, but if you can get into Nova, you will be assured employment when you finish. Now, it's an accelerated program, 2 years, non-stop schooling. You cannot go to work. You cannot have a life, basically, for 2 solid years of doing this, because that's how accelerated the program is. So that's the catch. Look at that sun behind us here. And the moon in front of us. How about that? Check it out. The moon in front, the sun behind. That's kind of cool, as I'm being blinded by the sun in my rearview mirror. Where else do we want to go? No, there's someone right beside me. Anyway, yeah. So for her, she was basically, she had no career for 13 years, basically. She was a stay-at-home mom for 13 years after having a solid career. And so she went back to school for 2 straight years and then had to do another year of residency, and immediately got hired by Northside. And the pay is good. The work hours can be good, it's good money. It's good. Especially if you still have children at home. Her kids are in their early and late teens now, so she needed something where she could be home more often than not, so she's not having to work 10 hours, 12 hours a day, or doing those extremely long shifts. She's able to do shorter shifts, 4 days a week, still make a good living, as well as be home for her children. And so that's pretty awesome. To the Fan radio station on 93.7 FM. Atlanta used to have a few decent sports talk radio stations. Now there's only really 2 left. Well, there's 3, but one is a sister station to the other, so it's decent, I guess. But I remember talk radio used to be a lot more competitive in Atlanta as far as a variety of entertainment options. Now we're around the top end of 285, so we're actually looping all the way around the top end from where we started. And coming up on the Chattahoochee River, which is the major river that goes through Atlanta. Good for recreation and whatnot. Now, I'm sorry, but whoever built the city of Atlanta and didn't think to put the city right on the river, I'm sorry, you guys were not thinking. I'm talking hundreds of years ago, but any of those towns that have major part of the city right on a river or any kind of body of water, it's better. Because we got some towns around Georgia that have those, that like your Columbus, Georgia, and places around Lake Lanier and whatnot. If the restaurants and the living and work and all that is right on the water, it makes the place better. So go back in time, whoever designed Atlanta should have put it directly on the Chattahoochee River, or at least closer to it, because it's not that far, but as far as it could have been closer to the river, and I think it would have been better. Anyway, whatever. Just my opinion, living here 53 plus years. Now let's see, the Cumberland area. You see up on the right up there, that's the new Atlanta Braves baseball stadium, now called Truist Park, because it used to be SunTrust Park that got bought out by Truist Bank. Can't really see it from here. kind of over there on the left through the trees right there. But yeah, that's, oh man, they have totally made an amazing place, you know, for fans to go hang out, and restaurants and shopping, you know, before, during, and after a baseball game. It is fantastic over there. The area is called the Battery, and if you're a tourist coming through Atlanta, go to the Battery. Even if you're not going to a game, it's fantastic. Because what it used to be down at Turner Field, there was nothing to do before, during, and after the game. It was awful. I'm sorry. I mean, the stadium was all right, but as far as stuff to do before, during, after, there was nothing to do. Now there's everything to do, and that whole area is packed for game day, even for not game day. They even show like football games on a big screen. Oh my God! Look at this. Jeez. Mr. Tuner Boy in his Acura Integra. Yeah. That's the kind of exhaust I do not prefer, and that is not what is on this Hummer. The MagnaFlow exhaust does not sound like that. Thank goodness. Oh my God, I'd shoot myself. Oh my God. Anyway, all right, now you see traffic coming down. This is heading south on the other side of the highway there. All right, decent amount of traffic, but it's not stopped, and it's not so awful that you would want to kill yourself. It's just got some volume. I mean, we're talking 8 o'clock in the morning, though. It's not horrible. That would usually be a parking lot right now in pre-COVID times. So shoot, man, you guys who have to drive to work a lot, and you know how Atlanta's traffic used to be, it ain't like that no more. And I hope it stays that way, quite honestly, because so many people are now working from home. I know some people are unemployed, which is horrible, but a lot of people work from home now. And they've probably been wanting to do that for years. Why not, you know? It's just such a waste to have to drive to an office if you don't have to go there. If you can get the same job done from home, that's what you should do. A lot of trucks out and about today. All right, something else with this, you know, the DiabloSport Trinity tuner. Like I said, I applied what's called the Diablo tune, which is an optional performance tune that you just push a few buttons and it does it for you, and it applies it to the computer of the car. Something I noticed in it that's a good thing, you know, like if you want to shift gears, you know, downshift to pass somebody. Let's say I want to pass this truck here. Before, all right, see, I'm already in passing gear and I barely pushed it to even half throttle. Not even half throttle, and I was able to do that. You know, before you'd have to push it way beyond half throttle, you know, just to get it to really get rolling. You know what I'm saying? That one thing I really like about this tuner, and I have very little experience with these things. So, like I said, you know, if you have, I mean, they make them for just about any car these days. But if you have, you know, like a heavier truck or a heavier SUV that's got the V8, you know, engine in it, like, you know, this Hummer H3, it's around 5,000 pounds, so it ain't no lightweight. Let's hit it. This thing takes off now, man. I'm telling you, I highly recommend it. So yeah, did the MagnaFlow exhaust, got the car completely tuned up, new spark plugs, new plug wires, air filter, new throttle body, new mass airflow sensor, even new map sensor, the manifold sensor, I got one of those coming as well. I reset the computer, you know, did a proper reprogram. I'll do a video on that as well. And this thing likes to go now. Where before it was like, come on, let's go, get it going. Now it goes. And like I said, I've never driven one of these before, so I don't know what to compare it to. It ran fine. It ran fine before, but now it really goes. And I like it. Anyway, that'll do it for today. I know this may be long-winded and boring for a lot of you, but some people do like it, so I try to do a little ramble every now and then. And so yeah, look for our new videos. We always got stuff going on. We have 2 channels now, Horsepower House and Horsepower House 2.0. Stuff on both channels. Google us, you know, we're all over the internet. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Amazon, eBay, and of course, YouTube. So we're going to get to the shop and get to work, and we'll have other videos coming out soon. So y'all have a great day. Have a great weekend. The week before the Super Bowl. And, yeah, come on. Y'all have a good day. We'll see y'all later.